A government, you said, made education universal, yes. But for what? What they now teach in schools is a disaster.
No. Why?
Well, that's what
you said. Yes, I said. But
you were seen as a man who was a technocrat, perhaps even seen as a neoliberal by some in economic terms. You certainly hastened the pace of privatization. And yet, for all of your structural economic reforms, you couldn't solve the problem of the two Brazils, that is the middle class and the successful upper class in Brazil, who are a very tiny minority, and then the vast numbers, the millions and millions of Brazilians who live in poverty. And you couldn't, for all of your reforms, tackle that problem of poverty.
So, basically, from 1995 on up to today, the poverty line was 40%, now it's about 28%.
But Mr. Cardoso, if I may interrupt, many Brazilians will say, actually, poverty reduction became much more successful and speeded up after you left office and after Lula came into power. Because the President should give a clear lead on the issue of corruption.
Well, I think so.
Well, in that case, did you give a clear lead? You had 2 terms in office. What kind of lead did you give your country?
Well, you don't have any one case of a person in my government, indicted or something like that, being safeguarded by me.
Well, that brings me to the essence of my case, if I may say so, because as I understand it, you appointed a federal prosecutor general, Geraldo Brindero, who sat in office for years and received, according to the Brazilian press, over 600 inquiries, I think they're called, into criminal behavior by public officials. Now, the vast majority of those inquiries were simply filed away. I think he even developed a nickname in Brazil as the sort of the filing clerk.
Yeah.
Now, is that because you're telling me there was no wrongdoing at all in power when you were president, or is it simply because he sat on those allegations?
O que aconteceu no governo Fernando Henrique?